This is my father-in-law's garage. Pretty nice on the outside, but on the inside, it's an absolute mess. So today, we're gonna be transforming this messy garage into his dream home golf simulator. And we're gonna be showing you guys how you can build your own dream home golf simulator from scratch on a budget in 5 easy steps. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into step one, I wanna tell you guys, this is gonna be different than most of the videos coming out right now. The other videos coming out right now are gonna be more pre-built enclosures. So no, when I say we're showing you how to build a custom premium DIY build, that's what we mean. We're gonna be showing you how to build this in your own place from scratch, and it's not a pre-built enclosure. So with that being said, let's get into step one, how to build the enclosure. All right, so step one is determining how big do you want your enclosure to be before you build the enclosure. So minimum space for a golf simulator would probably be 11 feet of width, 9.5 feet of height, and 16 feet of depth. Now, we've gone a little bit bigger here. We have about 14 feet of width. This room is kind of endless on the depth, and then we have 10 feet of height. And then we built this structure to fit the dimensions that we're talking about. So we're gonna show you how to do this part if you're someone who's not really experienced in kind of home projects. So basically, you get 2x4 studs, right? And then how did you build the structure to put the OSB over top? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's studs that are 2x4s, 16-inch on center, and then glued to the ground, and then up, and then kind of built the wall kind of in a way that it would be solid. On the other side of this wall is shelving, so it gives it kind of a solid backdrop.
You can actually see here, guys, it's just basically a 2x4 stud that goes all the way across the ground. It's glued, right? Construction adhesive.
Right.
And then to get the other studs in, do you nail those, screw those? What's the...
Yeah, so you put your base plate down, and then the wall, 2x4 studs, you are nailing them to kind of the bottom plate. And then the OSB kind of combined with the shelf gives it kind of just a really solid, I don't know what the word is, but just, you know, so it doesn't move on you.
Right. And then you nailed the OSB in?
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
Now, one of the things I want to go over really quickly is you're going to see there's no space for the screen. Because my father-in-law put the shelving behind it, he wanted that back part to be a solid wall, but he could have just built in an opening for the screen right there. But because he didn't, we're going to build the space for the screen about a foot offset from the wall. And all he had to do to build that space for a screen was run studs up the side. And so basically to do that, all you need to do is construction adhesive on the one side of the stud. So you glue it to the wall, and then you're gonna nail or screw in those studs to build that frame. And then last but not least, to build the ceiling, one, make sure it's 10 feet off the ground. If it's not gonna be 10 feet off the ground for your ceiling, I would only go like 5 feet out with that ceiling. And then what you're gonna do is just build a frame similar to what you did for the back wall, and you'll attach it using the same methods we've shown earlier. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start putting these vinyl custom panels onto the enclosure to kind of finish out that part of the build. Now we're gonna show you guys how to build these in a little bit. If you buy these pre-made, they're extremely expensive. If you build them yourself, they're time consuming, but save you a ton of money and look awesome. I think these are the pieces that take a simulator from, okay, it's cool to it looks incredible. And so we're gonna do that now, and then we'll show you guys how it works. All right, so first step, to get the panels onto the ceiling part, basically what Ryan and Trent are gonna do is they're gonna go up there and then they're just gonna screw them in. So they're just gonna get a screw that's long enough to get through the stud into the back of the panel, but you don't wanna pierce the wood and, you know, have a nail in the foam part where a ball could hit it and split the vinyl. So you gotta find the exact screw measurement that's going to get through your stud and then into the back of the panel without going through it. Are you gonna screw Velcro into the studs basically, or just the wall you're thinking?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put the Velcro on to match where it is on the panel, and then I'll staple it kind of in.
Okay, so you'll staple the Velcro in, and that allows you to attach these so that they don't come off. Nice. All right, guys, we are slowly but surely coming together. We have a few pieces that we couldn't build with the wall panels until the very end, until we knew how everything fit. So what we're gonna do now is build some of those last pieces. Now, I have a video that's gonna show you how to build these step by step. I'll link that right now. Again, it's a simple process, but it takes some time, takes a lot of staples, but it's gonna save you a ton of money. Now, here's a little time lapse of what it looked like from start to finish. Here is the beginning, and here is the end when we finally finished attaching all the wall panels. Next, onto the impact screen.
Guys, we have finally reached the last part of step one. the impact screen. We're gonna put this bad boy up, make it look nice and neat, and get us on our way.
Now, attaching the impact screen is fairly easy. You take these eye hooks, screw them into the wall 18 inches apart, take bungees, tarp clips, and then just tarp clip them to the screen. If you have any overlap, just fold it over and tarp clip that part. But we're not quite done yet because there's one huge piece you need to pay attention for.
And so one of the biggest pieces, guys, is just to make sure that you have some overlap for your impact screen. So I'll overlay some B-roll right now, but essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a wall panel that sticks out a little farther than this, and it's gonna hide the bungee, the tarp clip, and the impact screen so that the impact screen overlaps and you don't have a gap with your impact screen where a ball could shoot through. Now, one thing we gotta say in every video, guys, we had this whole elaborate story. We found these guys on Reddit that sell golf impact screens for like 50% off. It's an insane deal. First time we did it, people were just like, oh yeah, just PayPal these guys and they'll send it to you. So we just like PayPal'd these random dudes, and then a few weeks later, impact screen showed up. So if you guys want the half off impact screen, not everyone knows about it, but we will send you the contact if you email us at golfbustersofficial@gmail.com.
Now we finally finished the enclosure, so it is time for step 2, the flooring. This part's actually pretty simple, and you can get all the products in the description below. What you're gonna need is these 1-inch interlocking foam tiles. These are basically puzzle pieces, so you just put these together, and then you get your turf. You lay your turf down. I like to use carpet tape on the edges to help keep it in place. Then you cut the edge of the turf, and that's pretty much it.
But actually it's not. Pause. Hitting strip. We'll show you how to do that as well. You want a different hitting strip material. That's the expensive, like inch thick turf. And then the regular turf, I mean, you're not gonna hit off it, so you just want it to look nice. So we got like $1.50 a square foot turf for this build. Looks really nice. Can you putt on it? Yes. Is it perfect putting turf? No. If you want a little more expensive putting turf, you can go with that. But really the most important part is that hitting strip. Yeah, and we'll finish that out right now. All right, as we finish up step 2 with the turf and the flooring, we're gonna move on to step 3, one of the most important steps, the launch monitor, the thing that is gonna power your golf simulator. Now, if you're interested in which one to get, we have a bunch of videos that go over our top 5 favorite ones, best budget ones, and I'll link these here and down below in the description. But for this specific setup, we need to call in a little help, so I'm gonna call my friend Chris Reagan, who works at Play Better, and he's gonna recommend what launch monitor he thinks we should get for this situation. Hey, got a question for you. So we're building a golf simulator in my father-in-law's garage. Looking for a device under probably $4,000. I'm wondering which one you think would be the best fit. We got enough width for lefties and righties, but mostly gonna be righties in this situation, and just wanna hear your thoughts.
So I was thinking about what you said. So you're looking for a launch monitor that's under 4,000, works well for left and right. And I know you had mentioned before that you're gonna be hitting a little closer to the screen. And so that last one takes radar out of the mix. We're gonna have to focus on the photometric. I mean, I think I gotta go SkyTrak Plus on this one. I mean, it has fantastic simulation. The data is just increasing every single time they release a new update, especially because they're, partnered with Golf Tech. So it's hard to beat, honestly, for what you're looking for. I think SkyTrak Plus is the one.
All right, guys, we're going SkyTrak Plus for Pops. Now, whatever launch monitor you decide to get, we can get it for you as cheap as possible if you use our discount codes and links in the description.
All right, guys, at this point, we should be on to step 4, the projector. But my father-in-law made one of the biggest mistakes you can make, and I know you viewers at home are not gonna make the same mistake he made. So we'll explain a little bit about what happened and how we fixed it.
Trent, what was the key mistake Pops made in the projector?
So the projector, at a certain distance, it gets wider and wider. So when Dad, if you kind of look up here, the shot of it or whatever, so he just wanted it as close to the screen as possible and not checking the projector on how wide and how tall it can go on the picture.
So basically what Trent's saying is every projector, to fill a certain screen size, they all are different. It's not like one size fits all. They all, to fit, let's say his 14 feet of width here, it's gotta be a certain distance away, right? And he essentially didn't check it before.
Right. So
that's right, Derek. I didn't check it before.
But how do you know?
Well, I think before you put it up, you're supposed to hold it, up there, and you're supposed to kind of check at the certain, the number of feet away.
So last time we were here, guys, we made a huge mistake. the projector where it sat, basically a shadow would show on the screen. Basically, we had to hit a little closer to the screen so that you didn't sky it up top there. So we needed to switch up projectors, and that's why we say it's so important that you take the time to get the right projector. So we're gonna link this one here. What we really like about this, it sits directly over the ball. Now, sometimes you would worry with projectors like, oh, I don't wanna hit it with my swing, but if you are directly over top of where you're hitting, since the swing is on an arc, you're never gonna have any issues. So we're good with the projector. We moved it close enough to now we don't have to worry about hitting up top there. And then the last and final part that I really like here, no bumper on the bottom. And what we did is we took Velcro, put Velcro on the impact screen, Velcro on the floor, and we Velcroed this down. So it still has some give. It's not gonna be too tight where it ricochets back. But the big thing with this is now, right, when that hits, it's gonna stay tight right there.
All right guys, last step and one of the most important steps, the laptop. You're gonna wanna spend at least $1,000 to get a high quality laptop to be able to run those golf simulator programs. Because we have the SkyTrak Plus, you could use a MacBook, but you already know we're going with the gaming PC. Come on, check it out guys.
So that is how to build a custom DIY simulator on a budget. If you guys need some help, email us at golfbustersofficial@gmail.com. And if you guys want some discount codes, use our codes and links below, and we'll see you in the next one.